The damage assessment to cultural heritage assets after large earthquakes in Italy, Umbria and Marche 1997, L'Aquila 2009, Emilia 2012, has shown the high vulnerability of some types of historical structures, such as churches, towers, and palaces. Their damage was considerably higher than that observed on ordinary buildings in the same area. Such vulnerability is likely to be expected in other monumental structures, such as mosques or minarets. Earthquakes also proved that strengthening interventions adopted in the last decades are invasive, not effective, and even increase the vulnerability. Some examples are the replacement of original timber floors and roofs with heavy and stiff reinforced concrete slabs, and the reinforced concrete ring beams inserted inside the ancient masonry wall. Thus, there is an urgent need for disseminating these discoveries and promoting a new and really effective strategy for the risk mitigation of cultural heritage. The preservation of cultural heritage assets must consider both safety and conservation, by guaranteeing their capacity of lasting over time against decay, natural hazards, and extreme events, without losing their authenticity and usability. Thus, in the case of historic buildings, the safety of the people and the conservation of the cultural heritage should be considered in an integrated approach. The principle of minimal intervention, even if it is recognized as one of the pillars of conservation theory, still poses many theoretical, social, and technical problems. Indeed, the satisfaction of an acceptable level of structural safety is required for buildings' occupants. A reliable risk assessment for historical monuments is a challenge regarding the complex behavior of ancient materials and structural components, as well as the presence of unmovable artistic assets, frescoes, stucco works, pinnacles, battlements, banisters, balconies. There is a strong need for accurate procedures to evaluate the actual safety, together with the permanent monitoring of structural and artistic elements. If the monument retrofitting is unavoidable, design has to be considered as an optimization problem. From the structural point of view, the objective is to minimize the impact, reversible, cost-efficient, and sustainable technical solutions, under the constraint of obtaining acceptable safety levels. As far as the protection of artistic assets is concerned, their damage is often related to a small damage level of the housing structure. Thus, the conservation of the artistic assets could need the strengthening of the building, with problems for the authenticity of the main construction. In this case, in order to choose among the possible solutions, the adoption of local intervention is very effective, and the optimization procedure implies a value judgment for any artistic and architectonic assets in the building.
PERPETUATE project has developed the European guidelines for the assessment and mitigation of seismic risk to cultural heritage assets. They are based on advanced modeling strategies for the seismic analysis of ancient masonry buildings and innovative techniques for the strengthening of historical structures and the preservation also of artworks. The project has considered both architectonic assets like palaces, churches, towers, minarets, but also archaeological remains, and also artworks like fresco works, stucco or battlements and other elements, artistic elements. An accurate classification has been established in order to define proper models for the different kinds of structures. And we propose also simplified models for the analysis of historical centers in order to plan mitigation strategies for the conservation of these buildings. The driving idea of the project is to apply the performance-based assessment to ancient masonry structures and consider in particular the displacement-based approach. So static pushover and dynamic nonlinear analysis has been applied to these different kinds of structures, and we define proper safety and conservation requirements, and we correlate them with the earthquake hazard levels. The consortium includes many countries and covers the area of highest seismic risk in Europe and in the south shore of the Mediterranean Sea. There are 6 universities: Genoa in Italy, Thessaloniki and Athens in Greece, Bath in United Kingdom, Ljubljana in Slovenia, and Algiers in Algeria. There are 2 public research institutions, BRGM in France and ENEA in Italy, and also 3 small-medium enterprises. In Slovenia, ZRMK works on in-situ investigation, while in Italy we have Phase that produces materials for the restoration, and il Cenacolo, which is a construction and restoration enterprise. The work plan is organized in different steps for the seismic assessment, and the proposed procedure has been applied to and validated with different case studies. In particular, we have 3 buildings in the city center of Rhodes in Greece, the Great Mosque and the Casbah in Algiers, a palace and a church in the historical center of L'Aquila, damaged 3 years ago by the last earthquake, and another church in Molise, and a palace and some aggregates in Ljubljana in Slovenia. Please download the European the guidelines that we produced in the project. You can download them from the website perpetuate.eu. We must take care of our cultural heritage in seismic areas and preserve its cultural value. Now it is possible without invasive intervention and improving the displacement capacity rather than strength and stiffness. We have to do it now instead of waiting for another disaster.